chuck a bit of an Ivan on tech. Okay, that started. Hell yes. Yo, we've got an absolutely massive episode. This is probably going to be, no, not probably, definitely going to be the largest, sorry, because I was listening to just make sure the audio is good at the same time, so we can get rid of this now. Actually, can I? Yes. This is going to be absolutely, without a doubt, the most epic episode so far. I know that we've only had, this is episode 5, so it's like, but even so, it's going to be significantly epic, significantly epic. So I want to launch straight into this shit because we've got so much to cover and so much of it is like real epic. However, and I don't mean the epic in like the way that a 14-year-old kid says it, like, oh, mom, that's epic. I mean like fucking epic, like going on an epic adventure. And so remember, importantly, episode 1, if you haven't seen it, you have to go and watch it because it's got all the disclaimers and stuff like that and how the DAO works, that sort of shit. Oh, I'm trying not to swear in this episode as much. All that S. So episode 1, you have to watch it if you haven't seen it. And what's the other important intro shit? That's about it. The contract addresses of the coins that we're going to look at should be in the description. Pretty sure I updated those. And yeah, we're just gonna rock. We're gonna rock this shit. My Twitter bio, which is, you can't see it yet. I haven't actually done the screen share. This is how I rushed into this thing. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to say. So many coins have been flooding into the DAO that I apologize if your coin is in there and not in this episode. I got to a point where I had to launch the episode. I had to start. And so I promise that if your coin is supposed to be in this episode and it's not here, it will be in the next one. And it won't be even a full week because coins are just coming in so fast that we're going to have to already start to do these streams more frequently than once per week. Sharing this mofo. Right, now we go like this. Straight back to Boomerville. I thought I was getting better at not boomering it. And then, okay, at least that's on the right setting. So we've got 11 people watching already. Shout out to the Tang Gang. They are always showing up to support. Appreciate that shit. And massive shout out actually to the people who have rushed in to support this idea and this show early. It's been crazy. Like, I cannot believe how quickly things have blown up. It's been nuts. And for the fact that some people still think we're in a bear market, I think we're in a bull market. I think some of the things we're about to talk about in this stream are going to confirm that if you're not already convinced. And I really do appreciate the early support from people. Everyone, you guys know who you are. And I'm on a mission to ensure that the people that have supported this idea early will get some kind of benefit. I haven't worked out exactly how that's going to work, but the early supporters will get a benefit, right? Because that's the most important time that you need your idea to be supported, is when it's in its infancy. So more on that once I work out exactly how I'm gonna structure that. This is all I needed this post for, was that in my bio it's got the Dilly DAO address. That's why that page is up. Then the next one is there's a Pulse Chain ecosystem page map, DeFi map, that I think is worth checking out. The HOA is already on there. Like, so the Tangang stuff is starting to show up. Don't worry, there is a dark mode. So if this image right here is already giving you a stomachache behind your eyes, that is okay. There's a dark mode version of it. And I asked this question here. I said, where is the live version and how that's supposed to say how do projects apply, but technically it says and how to projects apply to get on the list. And Crypto B King has said, you can check on my pin profile, so the pinned tweet, and projects don't need to apply anywhere. Only add the Twitter handle and category to the post comments and it will be added. Now, I think this is legendary, right? And I've said that here. It's like legendary. I just said very nice, makes it so easy for the project. So effectively, if you are a Pulse Chain project and you're legit, you just go to this account, which is at @thecrypto_B. The pin tweet apparently will have the info on how to find the thing, and you just reply to that with the handle of your project's Twitter and what category you would come under, assuming your project obviously has to be on Pulse Chain. So that's really cool. I wanted to mention that. The next one here was just to remind me that I won't go into this in a lot of detail, but effectively KG had tweeted something. I replied asking, so KG and I basically had a conversation on Twitter about, I highlighted this idea that some of these liquidity pools that are like token liquidity pools, I noticed they weren't showing up in aggregation, like in DEX aggregators. And I just asked him if that was something that they were looking at addressing with the aggregator that they're building into the Internet Money wallet. By the way, there was an interesting space about that, which you should go and check out. It's probably on KG's page if you want to listen to that, with just the updates on Internet Money wallet. Also, actually, Corey had a stream with Gerardo with Mintra updates if you're interested. And Corey's got another stream with Gene from Chia coming up. I think that's in several hours from now, maybe 10 hours or something, but double check that. Check out. That's a channel worth subscribing to, by the way, Corey's channel. Now, Too Spooky went and actually did some investigating and found that what we had been talking about was actually true, and put some data to it, like put some actual specific, it gave specific examples. Petius came in and responded incredibly quickly, then looked into it, and then addressed the solution and added Tangang LPs, like token LPs, to make sure they were getting routed through. And that was incredibly impressive. So I just wanted to mention that the Petius, which I'm already a fan of Petius, we've got their chart on the show actually. And so I was already a fan, but this was even more, just furthered how, how much I like the project and how the devs are incredibly responsive, incredibly talented. I've been talking about Petius ever since I discovered it pretty much. And it really is the best way to ensure that you're getting the ARBs if they exist, and you have inbuilt MEV protection. If everyone was using it, we would have more economic energy staying within the Pulse Chain ecosystem and less getting leached out by bots. So I recommend that, tell your friends about it, raise awareness. There's not as much awareness about this DEX aggregator as there should be. Almost every time I tell people about Petius, there's at least some people that are like, I've never heard of this thing, and we need to fix that. So please help me raise awareness about Petius. We've got their chart here, right? So this was, remember how we do it? These blue lines, I'm just going to check the audio. Oh no, we shut that, didn't we? Someone comment if the audio is no good, and I'll try and keep an eye on comments. Whoa, we've got heaps of comments already. And Somi's in here. Great to see everyone here. Love the stream tangent. Keep up the great effort, communities. It's true. It's true. Cheers, Somi. And then, so there's already people in here. The audio is good. Thanks, Dozer. So you guys know, if you've seen some of my previous episodes, this trick that I do using the Fibonacci retracement tool. The Fib retracement tool. to try and see whether it looks reasonable that a bottom may have formed or where a bottom may form. And so we did that here on this one, and it looked okay. And then this blue line here is where we were, where the stream, so that's where the time was at the last time that we streamed. So we didn't know whether this was a bottom or not. We'd come off the bottom and come up, and I said at the time, we need to see whether what happens, whether we can put in higher lows, etc., right? That sort of thing. It came back down, it effectively double bottomed. So I don't put a lot of weight into double bottoms, but some people do. So there's a double bottom. And now we've actually put in higher lows and higher highs. So on this time frame that we're looking at here, which is the 4 hour, this is now in an uptrend. And it has bounced off that uptrend and it's moving up. I hope that you guys can see that. I should actually just put this down, make sure we're on log. Yep, okay, cool. So that's a bit better. So the trick that I do with the extension tool kind of called the bottom. Then we had the double bottom, and then we've got this moving up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this and move this blue line so that next time we stream, we'll know that we were there. So that's looking good. Next is, and if I sound a little bit rushed, that's because I am, because there's some massive stuff we need to talk about and quite a few coins that we want to look at charts as well. So the next coin is actually, is the HOA. Notice that one of the things we're going to be talking about in this stream is the Orange Grove Farms, and that there's a link to that on the main website. Bullish has already updated that. Bullish has been amazing with this site, with the design, the development, and the updates in terms of the, adding all the stuff that's HOA related, all the things that add value to the Tang Gang. Oh, speaking of things that add value to the Tang Gang, I have skipped ahead quite heavily here. I wanted to actually quickly show you guys. So okay, so we're gonna go back over here because I wanted to show you guys Bitcoin. Yo, Bitcoin in the house. Bitcoin in the house. Just absolutely stabbing bears in the neck. So check this out, right? So by the way, I'd actually sort of started to sketch up this channel before this run occurred. I promise, right? You're going to have to just trust me on that. Or not. You don't have to trust me, but I'm telling you truthfully that I had actually been sketching this up before this move. And, oh, is that a moon boy arrow? Oh, that's a moon boy arrow. Let's get rid of that. That's wishful thinking. That's what we call wishful thinking. Right. So yeah, this is looking really good. This is looking really good. I know a lot of, we won't talk about Bitcoin a lot. I'm just happy that it's moving up, showing strength, and it's getting out of this range. It was ranging quite for quite a long time. See here? Right. This was pretty much, in fact, this regression trend is drawing the range quite wide. I would actually tighten that range up in terms of where it was ranging. And even at this quite conservative wide one that this regression trend is auto drawing, we're actually now out of this. So what day are we? So we've already closed the week, but we can start to close the day. It would be great to, oh yeah, that's a power move. Oh bro, look at this. On the weekly, it got to the 9. So the TD count got to a 9. So this one candle at some point in its life was a 9 candle. That's why I printed that up arrow. And now this is bullish. This is so bullish. And so we're only a day into the week and it's already moved up that. Oh, wow. And so that having a green 2 above a green 1 is after a 9 is the reversal. Like that's where if you were trading the TD, you would enter that trade as soon as it went above the 1. So TD traders are going to be in the trade. I know quite a few other on-chain analysts and technical analysts would have already entered, and the higher we go, the more technical analysts will enter the trade and obviously continue to drive the price up. Enough about Bitcoin. But it's important because it, in my opinion, it underpins the sentiment of the entire market. So that is amazing news. 9mm is, let's just give this a refresh. So, and this is what reminded me to go back and check the tabs that I'd missed, because when I was talking about value being added to the Tang gang, 9mm are right up there. In fact, they might even be in position 1. Maybe perhaps not in what they've already delivered, but in terms of what they have planned is massive. It's just absolutely massive. Block Scanner, so Block Explorer, DEX, NFT Marketplace, NFT Project, Uni V3 DEX. And there might be other shit as well. Like, dude, just get out. Just get out of here. Just take your handgun and get the F out. So really hyper bullish on the 9mm ecosystem. I don't mean that in price. Necessarily. I just mean bullish on their existence, like bullish on the impact on Pulse Chain, the potential impact on Pulse Chain. In fact, I was just talking about this with someone recently. I know who it is. I haven't forgotten them, but I don't want to dox them because they're quite private. The amount of stuff that's literally on the verge of launching on Pulse Chain that is going to be a big deal in terms of not necessarily the protocols themselves, but these are ones where people were getting nervous that they might not launch. They might have been like a sack rug. So their launch will alleviate those concerns and also provide these additional things that are actually really cool. Really looking forward to liquid loans. And yeah, and just heaps of this stuff from 9mm and other projects. It's just, oh my God, just so bullish on Pulse Chain. Holy fuck. I think I've told you guys this before. I get more bullish by the day. I get more bullish by the day, and there's just so many things you can point to be bullish. And by the way, there's still time where the price has not reflected the reality of the fundamental awesomeness of what is going on. So obviously, nothing in this show is ever financial advice. But for me personally, I have identified that there is a divergence, like a strong divergence between how fundamentally amazing Pulse Chain is becoming, the things that are being built on it and all that stuff, and what's going on in the price has barely come off the floor. So price still effectively wrecked. Fundamentally, the chain absolutely awesome. And so yeah, so shout out 9mm. And by the way, their minting thing, let's just go mint.9mil.pro. And so by the way, that address that was just up on the screen was the Dilly DAO. So I typically use their scanner to keep an eye on like what tokens are coming into the DAO. So this particular NFT mint, they've already minted out a fifth, roughly, just over a fifth. Yeah, because 111, like all ones would be a fifth. So they've minted out a fifth. These NFTs are going to be airdropped. Like if you own the NFT, whichever wallet has the NFTs will be airdropped 9mm tokens as they distribute their tokens over a period of, I think, 20 months. Don't quote me, and check with 9mm, go to their Telegram, etc. Just to make sure that the information is correct, because I might be wrong about certain things, but I think that's how it works. What's up? Let's look at Pulse. This one also had a double bottom, but a slightly different time frame to Petius. Petius's double bottom was more recent. This was I think a larger time frame double bottom. Now, you guys already heard me say I don't put a lot of weight into double bottoms, but I'm happy for them to play out if that's going to turn Pulse Chain around. We desperately need it. So the double bottom, I'm going to delete that. Look at this little baby pump for ants that I was measuring here. That was only 2%. So this is the line here that shows where we were at the edge. So in the last stream, again, we'd only just come off this sort of ever so slightly, ever so gradually increasing trend line to show these higher lows. Obviously, we must have been on a high time frame for those because we try not to break candle bodies. Maybe were we on the daily then? Yeah, there we go. We must have been on the daily. Right. So look how much more bullish, just a few days. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And we're above. So remember that this 4,000 line is the sack rate for whales. That was the best bonus multiplier. So not just whales, but like literally the biggest whale got this price. We have absolutely green dilly dildoed the absolute F out of that resistance line. Not, well, I mean, it's not technically resistance, just that psychological level. Come back down, found support, pretty good support, and then just dillied it. Just absolutely dillied the F out of it. Well, in the process of dillying it. So, and I'm thinking of doing a thing in my shows where we do like dilly of the week will be like the candle with the big, like the chart with the biggest dillies. And I haven't decided yet what we're going to do, if it's like massive dillies and then a pullback versus a chart that maybe the dillies aren't as big, but it hasn't pulled back or whatever. I haven't decided. It might have to just be at my discretion because it's not like a buy endorsement. The dilly of the week it's possibly the opposite because it'll be the one that's pumped the hardest, right? It'll be the chart that's like the most overbought. So thank F that this chart for Pulse Chain, this looks really good. This looks really bullish. We finally have a bullish Bitcoin, like a significantly more. I've always been bullish on Bitcoin. It's to me, I keep saying that it's been in a bull market since the start of the year. Obviously, if you zoom out, that's apparent. But a significantly more bullish Bitcoin chart, even according to the people who were typically sort of conservative to bearish. A much better looking Pulse Chain chart, like much, much, much better. And we've also got all PRC20s just popping off. And that's what this show is for. This show is to showcase some of the PRC20s that are just absolutely dillying the chart. So that's really good. We can drop down to a lower time frame if you want to get like even more, just see this with even more clarity. This just absolutely rinsed this level, just absolutely rinsed it, just went see you later, went all the way up, like almost went 10%, pretty much about 10% above that level, pulled back, and now we are, so by the next episode of Dillyz Down Under, by the way, I should always mention that I'm Hex Tangent and you can find me on Twitter. If I remove this, I'm just gonna, if I remove this, then there should be, my name should be, Dirty Mofo. It's not putting my, what's up with that? Okay, well, we don't have time. Normally it would say Hex Tangent. Like, does it, F it. What's next? So we talked about Patius. Shout out Patius. We talked about the website. The Bullish is doing an amazing job. Oh, HOA. A. This is, so I'm going to draw you guys what's called the Godson banana. draw you guys the Godson banana. So this one, I'm sorry, and I apologize to the Tang Gang. These lines have to be yellow because it's a banana. Now, only the people who used to watch a show called Shitcoin Talk will know what I'm talking about. But the point here is this downtrend was accelerating to the downside. Yeah, like if you were to try and draw straight lines, they would be tangents. They would be tangential to this curve, effectively accelerating to the downside, jeeting its way all the way down. And so we've got this fib retracement tool here, right, from that we had drawn in from with the assumption that that was the bottom or the low, like, you know, the lowest low on that particular pullback. And look how glorious this looks. So it came down, it got supported by this fib, and then this fib looks legit because it actually was finding support on there several times before breaking down. And so if we all agree that these fibs are legit, which, I mean, this, when you're this far past the bottom and you've got this much market structure, it's pretty obvious. But if we agree that these fibs are legit, this thing just absolutely green dilly dildoed its way, like full fist. You choose. Open or shut, it doesn't matter. Full fist, green dilly dildoed straight through those levels. We're on a 4-hour chart here, log scale. And so, yeah, that downtrend's clearly been broken. Whatever happens here, even if it pulls back, it's going to put in a higher high. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, it's a higher high. So, reversal incoming. I don't think we need to say much more there, other than maybe changing these lines to orange just to keep the Tang Gang happy. What's next? Pussycat. So Pussycat is one of the coins, but what we actually want to talk about, so I just had that, that's their website. Here's their chart. Looks like it's pumping at the moment because that's the daily. Let's go down to a, oh, and I like to have the price chart. I think it's more fair with the performance recently of Pulse being like aggressive to the downside. I think it's more fair, and just to be consistent, did we? Oh, so that was even. Well, for HOA, it doesn't really make much difference because it kind of, it still looks, it's just as, you know, whatever. You know, it looks good. It looks good on both. Petius was, that was against the dollar. Wait, is this? Yeah, so this chart doesn't even look right. Huh. I'm not sure what's going on there, but this is obviously the chart that I've been using. So, I mean, I try to use a chart that I think like represents fairly what's going on. I'm not sure what was going on with that other chart. Like clearly this looks a lot better. And normally against the dollar, the charts look worse. But anyway, let's go back over to this coin here. So this is against Pulse. It's near its all-time highs. There was a mega jeet. There was a mega jeet, pardon me, that came in here and just absolutely jeeted the thing. It got bought immediately back up, like V recovery style, and then it happened again. Jeet, V-shaped recovery pretty much. And now we're chilling here, but we are under that potential resistance. but we'll see what happens. Like the volatility has just been insane. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why the introductions of the farms increased the volatility here. Oh, so by the way, this is where we were on the last stream. So it had just gone and broken that and was up here. And then so all of this has happened since the last stream. So now I'm just going to reset this blue line, make sure that these other ones have got the blue lines as well. Right. You know what? On HOA, we need to add one of those blue lines. I know that blue line doesn't show up that well for you guys, but it doesn't matter because I'm the only one that needs to see it because it's just for my reference point. So I know where we were up to in each subsequent stream. So the only thing I can maybe think of just off the top of my head is with yield farms, you get a massive increase in liquidity. And maybe that is for some people who were early investors who got a large bag because they were early, when they see the liquidity increasing in size, they think, oh, this is an opportunity for me to sell without completely effing the price. Because even though this looks like a massive jeet, I think it's still within what you would call a healthy dip. So if we just measure this candle here, the body of that candle is like under 40%, right? So it's still a big drop, but it's still sort of like healthy for a rising market. You know, 30 to 40% dips are not that crazy in crypto. So, but I don't know. I'm only guessing here as to why. I mean, for me, I'm like, why would someone jeet when they've got a brand new DeFi protocol? So it's gone from being like just a meme coin to having real DeFi, and then people are like jeeting their bag like that. That doesn't make sense to me. But maybe they'll look smart if the price goes down, but they'll look dumb if the price goes up. And I know which way I think the price is going to go. You're going to have to work out your own decision which way you think the price is going to go. All I'm going to say is that the TA, well, actually, you know what? The TA is quite difficult when you're just getting like this. This makes the chart look fucking ugly. And so I guess the only thing I'll say from a TA point of view is fast recoveries, I think, are quite bullish. I think that shows a lot of strength when you get really fast recovery. I haven't done any sort of like analysis to see what addresses, because sometimes you might look at the addresses of who's buying it up to see whether it's like whether it's like large holders or team wallets or, you know, new people or rich people or whatever. That analysis might be worth doing. Don't want to spend any more time on this because there's more to talk about to do with this project and so we're getting to the first like big news of the episode, and it's one of the things of what the stream is named. The stream is named after these two news events, which is the Orange Grove Farms and the GDAY documentary, right? So let's go and take a look at these farms. We're not going to spend a heap of time here, but I'm going to take a little bit of credit. So just like the Proteus upgrade, or not upgrading, but looking more deeply into these token pairs and working out solutions and things like that for these, so that they can access this liquidity that wasn't perhaps being used optimally or efficiently. In a similar manner, in that sense, what I did there was I just complained about something and other people fixed it. Similar here, right? A similar thing happened here where I complained or criticized yield farms on Pulse Chain all using V1 as their as the token that gets rewarded, that gets incentivized. And I had asked some of these yield farms, I'm like, why are you guys using V1? And even if you were using V1 before V2 came out, why don't you change it to V2 and stuff? And I got answers. So some yield farms didn't answer. Some yield farms said, oh, well, because the main liquidity for the farms that are still incentivized with ink are on V1. So we want to be on V1. That doesn't make any sense to me, because we already had smart routing and that sort of thing, but they wanted to be on the same version of Pulse X. I guess back then you could argue that there wasn't routing between V1 and V2 on Pulse X natively. Now there is, by the way. So now there's no excuse. But back then they could have maybe argued that. What else? Some said that, you know, I just effectively I just got various like weak reasons to no reasons, and nothing was satisfactory in my opinion. So I was complaining about that, saying why don't we have yield farms that incentivize V2, because that's the one where you can get the fees and the incentive like everyone originally wanted and every other yield farm in all of DeFi operates like. So it's like the incentive, getting the incentive is mainly supposed to offset the potential for impermanent loss and just incentivize you to participate at all. It's not supposed to be instead of the fees. You're meant to get both, right? So, and it's hard enough to be profitable in DeFi when you need every advantage you can get, right? You want every advantage you can get. You don't want to, even though the fees are typically smaller than what you get as the incentive, particularly when the farms are high yield like these ones are. But that doesn't matter. It's not like, oh, well, this is a smaller proportion, so don't worry about it. Anyway, I don't need to complain about this anymore, because someone stepped the fuck up and built exactly what I wanted, which was a yield farm that uses V2 LPs. And another thing that I was dirty on about some of these other yield farms is they would hide the deposit fees either in the documentation or in these little fold down things. So you'd have to actually like click on details to see the fee. So the Pussycat devs took the criticisms that they had heard me make in these Twitter spaces and fixed them, like incorporated into their build, right? So you'll notice that literally the largest text on the entire farm website is the deposit fee, which is, for these two, it's free. And for these two, it's 1%, which is, by the way, is like the lowest I've ever seen. Most deposit fees are typically much higher. They're usually like around 4%, but they vary, but it's pretty rare. It's pretty rare to even see them this low. They also have said that they will be adding more farms. So this is not the only one. There's no single asset pools yet, but they have the capacity to add those, and we'll consider doing that. Their stuff appears to be strategic. You know, what else? So yeah, I'm just pumped that people like listen to what I say and actually go and build shit that I think is required or cool. These yields have pretty much been consistently at these between sort of like 500 and 2,000% variably. So there are variables that make these APRs not, you know, they can move and they can change. They can change with the price of the incentive token. So this one, all of these farms earn the same incentive token, which is this token called OG, it stands for Orange Grove. And I'm pretty sure I've got a chart of that coming up soon. It'll be the next slide or the next tab. So the price of the token, the price of the assets in the LP, the bonus multipliers, the emission rate, which by the way is only 1 token per block, and the TVL on the farm has pretty much been increasing over time. Pretty much, like it does go up and down. I think I saw a high, but again, even that changes based on so if one of these assets, so say Pussy goes pumping to the moon, then that TVL also goes up just because the assets that are locked are now worth more. So you have to be, you have to understand that these numbers, that even though obviously the devs are doing the best attempt possible to represent the data as accurately as possible, it is difficult that you, in terms of how dynamic it is, you can't, that's just has to be accepted. Like, you guys just have to understand that. So, and the other thing that's worth noting, I just thought of one other thing is, yeah, so, and then, so yeah, there's details you can pull down, see how much. So in this particular one, which is their primary LP, which is Pussy Against Pulse, so there's $4,000 US worth of LP that's been put into the farm. So yeah, that's G. And yeah, that's about it. So these yields are quite high, and the farms are quite new. I think they're only 5. Well, I guess we can probably tell by this next one. So if we make this a daily, chart, I know that looks ugly on the daily, but so yeah, this is so about a week. So the farm's about a week old. Wow, time flies. Hey, it seems to me like they only just launched, but it's about a week. Now, if we drop back to a lower time frame, so yeah, price volatility in the early stage, like obviously as an incentive token, when it pumps, so it like pumped something crazy like 5x on the first day that it came out, right? What's this? Well, even that's a 6x, not even counting that wick, right? So it's like a 6.5x. When that happens, like if this was to do a 2x right now, then those APRs would look twice as high. So as an incentive token, you don't necessarily want it to be like just on a relentless moon mission, but it's still worth us looking at the token in terms of like charting it and seeing what's up, seeing what's going on. And so it's possibly coming up against some resistance there. Started its life around a cent, and now it's at 2.5 cents. So yeah, so it's 2.5x from where it started, but it's been actually pretty consistent over the last sort of like couple of days. But you know, the liquidity is still building for this thing, so it can move like what you're seeing, these candles up here. Probably not worth spending a lot of time on the chart just to know that the coin exists. I may have actually forgotten to put the contract address of this one in the show description. It doesn't. I guess you can just go to the yield farm. But by the way, the address of the yield farm is farm.pussycat.life. So it's the same domain as the actual Pussycat Life website, just with farm dot as a subdomain. Cool. If I think of anything else, we can come back to that. I think we've covered that. There was one more thing I wanted to say about this. Oh, they do have these tabs here with like token info and trade, and that will actually take you to the token, so you don't need the contract address. These links will actually take you straight there. Yeah, yep. So we can talk about that more in a future episode. What's next? The GDAY documentary. This is the other one that's huge. This is the other big news. Absolutely massive. So I recommend going and following Tom if you're interested in this. He's just like literally 4 hours ago, he just released a video, and we're going to watch it live. So if you go to his Twitter, there's this YouTube link here, and that takes you. So we've got the koala thing. And by the way, that's why I wore this jacket. So I decided to try and kind of like mimic the GDAY documentary sort of. So this is a purple t-shirt that says FOMO. So it matches the kind of like the color scheme, and also this whole, because the tagline of this thing is like FOMO in, FUD out. Here, FOMO in, FUD out. And he's wearing kind of like purple. And so I've got this here. I've got this hashtag FOMO t-shirt, which by the way, I already owned. I didn't get it as a throwback or as a what's it called? As a hat tip to this project. But anyway, this link takes you here. I'm just going to make sure that you guys will be able to hear this. In fact, maybe, can you guys tell me if you can hear this? Oh, shit. It's glitching hard. It's glitching hard, boy. Actually, you know what? You guys go and watch it. You guys go and watch it so that it gets more views and then it gets more likes, because you're going to click like when you get there, and because it seems to be glitching, and also we're running out of time. Like this episode's going to probably be an extended episode anyway. But please do go and watch that. It's really interesting. I haven't watched all of it. I only just started watching it, and then I thought, oh, it'll be fun to just watch it for the first time live with you guys. But now I'm not doing that. But the part that I did see, I could already tell it includes information that is very interesting, and possibly bullish. You make the decision of whether you think it's bullish for the token, which is, oh, well, you don't have to make that decision, Anon, because people have already made that decision for you. People ever since, so this is on a 4-hour chart. Oh, well, actually, no, okay. I was just retrofitting data like all good crypto analysts do. These are 4-hour candles. So this has not been pumping because of that video release, because that video release only came out like, what, 5 hours ago or something? Five hours ago. And this thing's been pumping its nut off for like that many candles times 4. So because each of these are 4-hour candles, so like 20 hours. So the last 20 hours have been kind to the GDAY chart. And I mean, you can see these downtrends that I've drawn in the past. So downtrend, broke out, channel down, breakout, and just kind of, I don't know, just sort of faked out the non-believers, I guess. So this is what where the price was at the stream when we streamed last. We were still in that channel. So I would have said we need to see how this channel resolves. Obviously, it resolved to the upside. Now I'm just going to move this here. By the way, it's also now above that. It's also above that fib level, which is actually bullish. I mean, that's a bullish move. It's clearly putting in higher lows and higher highs and making a strong move to the upside. With BTC moving up and Pulse Chain also moving up, I expect to see these coins showing decent charts, and they are not disappointing. So that's the GDAY chart. I don't think we really need to say anything more there. Up, the token that is designed to go up. So interestingly enough, this token on the last stream, we were here. And I drew this head and shoulders and said the target for this head and shoulders is like this. In fact, let's just zoom in a bit more because we can always zoom back out again. So we said target for that head and shoulders here. It didn't meet the target straight away, but it eventually got up there, like, you know, maybe 10 or 12 hours later. Although you wouldn't really count this as meeting its target, because normally the move is impulsive, right? Like if you think this is going to play out, it's going to go there quickly, not later. But it doesn't matter. It got there. And that seemed pretty bullish at the time, because that was a 35% move, which is not, you know, that's not insignificant. And then the effing thing. So you just saw uptrend, 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 continued in an uptrend. So that uptrend was intact this entire way with heaps of touch points. Basically just ground that whole thing, faked out to the downside, spring, and then relentless upward price action for a 3.5x. 3.5x all the way up to here. And now it has pulled back. So that move, if we also include the pullback, so the pullback, 23%, which means that this is only a 2.7, 2.8, only a 2.8x. So that's a strong contender for Dilly of the week, for Green Dilly of the episode, really, because we're going to be doing streams more than once a week. Damn. So that's up. And remember at the start, I did apologize. If your coin is meant to be on here, I'm sorry. There was just so many people throwing coins into the DAO this week, or this period. And some people throwing in coins like last minute when they found out that I was streaming. And this has happened the last 2 streams. When I say I'm about to stream, people are like, oh no, I'd been meaning to send tokens to the DAO. Wait 1 second, I'm going to do it now. And just like bang, bang, bang. And then I'm like, okay. So then, and that actually did cause a minor delay on this one. I would have been here earlier but I wanted to just go and try and include those coins if I can, or at least some of them, right? So, and we're getting to those. So that was up. This one's HTR. Let's look at it against Pulse. So this looks to me like this thing went into a parabolic move. Oh, yes. And most of these, I haven't even actually put the lines on the chart yet, so we're going to have to do them live. Whatever, something like this. So it started to go parabolic, although did it really? I think if we draw it like that, maybe this isn't. Maybe this is just like sideways and then uptrend. But regardless, this is fine. That's what you guys will come to love about this show. Everything's just a healthy pullback. When you're in bull mode, everything is just a healthy pullback. So we've got this healthy pullback, 18%. This thing's run up. We'll take a look at this one this is quite a young coin. Whoa, how high did that wick go? Holy shit, dude. If this thing just only goes up to where that wick went on the first day, even though there's no guarantee this can happen, that's a 3x. So anyway, let's get the old time marker. That in. Did we do that on the last few charts? Yep, we did it on up. We did it on GDAY. Oh, we didn't do it here. Has someone pumped that? Has someone pumped that OG token? Yes, they did. Because I remember saying that we were coming up to resistance so that it might this is hilarious. This was happening on the last show as well, that we were going through the tokens, and then sometimes when I was coming back to charts, some of them were pumping. So at least you guys know that it's not me doing it, because I can't, because I'm on the stream. So, and I don't do crypto on this computer. So let's go. Where were we up to? Oh yeah, so HTR. This one. Yeah, so we'll take a look at this one again on another stream. This one's called PLSPUP, so I guess you could count this as dog money. So this is a dog coin. This is the chart so far. Again, it's quite young. Again, we'll look at it on a future stream. This kind of went up quite quickly, then it went up slowly. This is not like a very typical way that coins move, but it's so super young that you end up with a situation where, like, you end up with a liquidity situation that means that the chart is not going to necessarily look organic, and that doesn't necessarily indicate manipulation, is what I'm trying to say. That you can have non-organic charts that are not being manipulated that still look a bit weird from what you would expect while they're super young, super low liquidity. So we just put that's not a Godson banana, so we'll just go like this. Yeah, so that looks like it's rounding out. That looks like it's consolidating at the highs. That looks like a healthy pullback. See, I warned you guys that everything would be a healthy pullback. 38%. Healthy pullback, bro. Healthy pullback. So that's PLSPUP. We will take a look at that on a future episode. So I've kind of like been developing sort of like the rules as I go, or sort of the DAO has been developing the rules or whatever, or I've been coming up with rules for the DAO's approval or whatever. When coins are like super young, so that when they meet the token gate and I put them on the show to chart them, if there's nothing to really chart, then I'll bring them back when there's more to chart. If coins pump really aggressively, I'll probably bring back coins that have, even if they are like old participants that haven't re-token gated, and maybe like early adopters of the show idea coins like that might get reviewed and reviewed, not reviewed, but reviewed, like viewed again. And isn't it funny, words like that, like worthless and worth less, like worthless people take as being like not worth anything, and worth less just means it is like the literal meaning is it is worth less than something else. And this is another example of that in terms of review, because people take review to mean, I'm mansplaining, aren't I? Okay, so let's go here straight to the PEPE chart. Wait, this needs a log. So this is not the forked PEPE. This is not PEPE on Pulse Chain. This is a different PEPE. So if you, and I think I've got the contract addresses of both of them, because the PEPE, forked PEPE, ended up somehow getting its ass into the Tangang as a Tangang coin. I have a suspicion why that happened, but I'm not going to voice it because it's hearsay. So this is a different PEPE. This one's, I think this one might be by the same, by the Trust Swap founder. But don't quote me on that. I've got a suspicion that's the case. And so, yeah, because the PEPE on Pulse Chain, sorry, PEPE forked PEPE would have the same address as the original PEPE over on Ethereum, which is the 0x69 contract. So this one's definitely the right one in terms of the one that was token gated just before the show. And I would say, and I know on like episode 2 or 1 or 2 or something, I said I was going to like try and present like bull and bear cases for each coin, but F that noise. At the moment, I'm just kind of like going with what I'm seeing. And I'm bullish. I'm bullish, so I'm bull bias, and I'm seeing green candles and I'm liking it. So, this coin's actually been around for a while, because there's a lot of 4-hour candles there. So this started its life on 19th of May. Whoa, super old, bro. So it bottomed out, and before it could actually build its base and have like a long accumulation period, it pumped. And notice, because of the rule of bigger the base, the higher into space, it didn't go that high into space. But it is now consolidating at those highs and looks like it's probably prepping up for another run. This looks bullish. Yeah, this looks like a flag or something going on up here. yeah, you could draw some kind of shit. Some shit. You know? Say maybe this is a flag conservatively. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Well, I guess actually it does matter because this coin's not new enough for me to just be able to pull that bullshit I did on the last coins where I'm just like, this one's pretty new. I'll just do it later. That old chestnut. And so this one, I probably have to actually chart it. And so here's a flag. Here's a flag with a target of 120%. Remember, no, I'm not endorsing any of these coins and I'm not making price predictions. I'm just here to give you horoscopes for men. So, AKA technical analysis. See, and that's why I can't be held accountable. I can't even pronounce the name of what I'm doing. How can you take any of it seriously? That's way too much ass covering for an episode that already has the disclaimer that I can point to. It's episode 1. Go and watch it if you haven't seen it, so that I don't have to say dumb shit. So where were we up to? So yeah, that's a PEPE. That's a PEPE token. We'll keep an eye on that. Here's one called BABYBEAR. I guess leveraging off the success of the bear token, a bit like all sorts of like derivative dog coins. Like there was baby Shiba, I think, over on Ethereum. So this is BABYBEAR. It's relatively new, 3 days. And I mean, the chart actually, if you say that this starting move was like super young, like super, and it's kind of just been forming up. I guess we'll just have to see what's up. We will see what's up. Trust me, the charts are not boring me. This coin doesn't bore me. I think I'm just running out of, I've been up for a while because crypto does not sleep. And so neither do we. No, I'm still catching up on sleep from the weekend. So yeah, we'll revisit this. This one's because it's quite young. We'll pop in the vertical line. We'll go back and make sure we popped in the vertical line. No, we didn't. Here we go. That one goes in there. And what was the one before that? Oh, getting slack. Just how we like it. We did not come here to fuck spiders, is a well-known saying here in Australia. It means we're not going to fuck around. There we go. Oh, this is a coin we've already done before. It's got a blue line on it. Get on it, mofo. So, okay, so this thing looked like it could have been flagging up at the time of the last one, but then the flag did not play out. Otherwise, that thing would have been moonbound, but that's fine. Let's get a new regression trend and sort of look while this does look, it's because it's on log, these things sometimes they wig out. Look, while you could argue that this has sort of gone in an uptrend and then it's in a low time frame downtrend, after a move this large, I would just consider this entire sideways action to be consolidation at the highs, which is bullish. So I should just call this, I should actually have named the show Everything is Bullish. And then just literally just fucking come up with bull narratives for like every coin. That's not what I'm doing here, by the way. I'm giving myself shit. So we've reset that. It's consolidating at the highs. We'll see if it, look, you could say if it falls from here, it could come all the way back down to here. So at the moment, it's, holy shit, that's 62%. And that would be 93%. What the F? Bro, what the F? Alrighty. We'll have to keep an eye on this one. Let's wind this up. Oh, this was one of the coins that we actually did have. We said it was so young. We said we were going to have to bring it back. We didn't mark where we were on the chart, but we will this time. This is Sure and Nope. Have I been saying the names of the coins? Maybe I am getting tired. So this one was KYMATO. This one is Sure and Nope on the same chart. Like they're relative to each other. They're related. They're paired. Sure and Nope. This thing's on a pump. Up 11% on the day in dollar terms. What's next? This one's called LEELU. I sort of feel bad about this one because when they sent it in, I'm pretty sure it was up or on its way up. And just the timing is bad. Well, maybe there are viewers that like buying dips, and maybe I shouldn't actually put my subjective commentary on whether it's like good or bad. But in terms of the timing of displaying their chart, we'll see how this resolves. Like it's pulled back quite. So this went up 22x, 22.5x. And has pulled back 75%. We're going to have to see. There is potential. There's potential for support there. There's potential even for support here. And so it's not looking like, if you were convinced that this coin has the ability to not die completely, then I'm sure this is not a terrible place in terms of how much it's retraced. What we're going to do is we are going to put this little guy on here so that we know where we were up to. That one's called LEELU. This one made me lol, but it's got no price action yet. OJSIMPSN. Now, I don't know whether this was made by someone in the Tang Gang, because like OJSIMPSN, lol. We will absolutely bring this one back once it has more than a single candle. Needs to start getting some price action. And so that is the end of our charts, which is great because I don't want these streams to go like stupid long so people look at the timer and go, no, I'm definitely not watching that. That's ridiculous. I also wanted there to be like a significant sort of emphasis on these two major news items, which were the Orange Grove Farms and the GDAY documentary series. Don't forget to go and subscribe. This has only got 8 subscribers. This is a new channel specifically for this, for the way that this documentary is going to be done, which is quite innovative in terms of, well, just in general, but also in terms of like tokenomics and stuff like that. So if you want to support Tom, he made it a Hex documentary. If you want to support him, subscribe to his Twitter, like follow his Twitter, subscribe to this YouTube channel, watch the doco, leave a comment, click like, whatever, all of that stuff. Do that on this channel also if you like this content and you want to support it. Tell your neighborhood whale and or neighborhood founder, coin founder, about episode 1 of this show, how the Dilly DAO works, how they can get their coin. If there's a coin that you want on this show, you don't have to send it in. You can suggest the idea to someone that's in the community that for them, because for me, the way I've tried to do it is so that it's effectively free, but for some people that might not seem free. So I want you, if you're in that position, I want you to encourage someone who for them it's effectively free, right? And so yeah, let's go. Let's effing go. Very pumped, very excited. They're the main, yeah, that's so dope. That's so dope. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the high yield farms. I'm going to talk to WePulse about it because he's like a farming expert. So I want to talk about that. Oh, one other thing. Cookies and I might be doing a Twitter space soon. I told him I was pretty much available whenever, and I'm just waiting to hear back. And the reason I did this stream was because I hadn't heard back yet, but I'm keen to do that. That's going to be largely focused on updates, like Tangang updates. So I guess it's likely that these main items that were from this stream, the GDAY documentary and the Pussycat Farms, would come up again in that Twitter space. So you might have to listen to it twice, but different format. And also, so then that'll be like heaps of other potential updates from things to do with the Tangang. There's always so much going on in there. Our Pussycat, I've got a meme comp if you want to get involved in that. There's a heap of stuff. Neckbeard Punks has got their final phase. I think that might have happened or might be active or whatever. I already got one in phase 4, so I didn't, and I was really super busy, so I didn't keep an eye on when that was occurring. I saw that Famous did a Twitter space. I won't go into all of the updates here because then that won't leave anything for the Twitter space. But there's a lot going on. There's a lot of projects that are trying to add value to the Tangang. I saw a message from Cookies that talked about another project. Mana's got an airdrop that's going to have free, like a free open edition to HOA holders or to Tangang. And then Cookies mentioned that there was a project that wants to come over, that it'll be the first time they've come over to Pulse Chain, and they're just negotiating how, like, or not negotiating. He's trying to help them work out how they're going to provide free value, like provide value for free to Tangang members. There's so much to talk about. And so that's why I encourage you to follow, if you follow my Twitter, because I'll be either host or co-host in that. So, and by the way, people absolutely love when Cookies and I are the hosts. They absolutely love it. I get the most compliments. So I get, not to flex, but I get a heap of compliments on these YouTube stream, on my streaming content and also my Twitter spaces. People say that my Twitter spaces are their favorite ones. So even though they might not be, well, I think they are quite heavily attended, but I get a heap of positive remarks about the spaces, but especially when Cookies and I are both hosting / co-hosting. And I even had a financial offer on hosting spaces with Cookies, and I was like, yeah, that would be great, other than the fact that I can't, like, I won't be able to convince him to necessarily, like, it would obviously require both of us to agree to it to make that happen. And Cookie's a bit of a he's a bit of a loose cannon. He's a bit of a loose cannon when it comes to this sort of things, but this was his idea. So it'll definitely happen in terms of the one that we're doing sometime soon, hopefully. So that's it. That's it for the series. I'm pretty sure. Let me just check my notes. Yep. Boom. Done. End the stream.